Hello everyone, happy Monday. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Hi everyone. Hi, happy Monday. You guys, you know I am so excited for our artist today. I'm gonna wait just a couple minutes to make sure everyone's notified. Hi. Hi Mel. Oh Trey. How are you, love? Hi Sarah. You guys, I have been waiting for this. When I first started our virtual one-on-ones at the beginning of quarantine, of course I made my list of who I would love to have on here for you. And today we have one of those artists that I've watched I've been on here for 6 years. We are so excited. I get goosebumps and we're so excited to have Laura, otherwise known as Lala from Lala's Updos on here. So happy. And I'm just thankful that you guys are here. I've got my mannequin prepped. Today I'm using my pivot point. I'm using my pivot point mannequin, and I actually mini crimped her. If you are familiar with Lala's work, you know that she does a lot of mini crimping to add beautiful volume. And hi Neil. Yes, she's awesome. Yes, Jerry, we totally love her. Oh my gosh, she has inspired us for the last 6 years on a daily basis. So we are overjoyed to have her on here. But I did want to say that I did get in the mail. Well, I was hoping I'd get it yesterday, but we did get in the mail. Oh, Lala doesn't know how to join. Send me a request to join. You should be able, if you click on the two little icons that are happy faces at the bottom of your page, Lala, then you will see to send a friend request. So let's see here. She is asking for help. So at the bottom of your screen, Lala, there is two little happy faces. If you press that, it'll say that you want to send a request to join the live. And then that will notify me, and then I can get you to come in. So I want to see if you can do that. If not, we can see here if that works. Let's see here. We're gonna help Lala get on here, guys. Yes. Let's see here. We're just gonna add her right now. I added you myself, Laura. Hi,
Yay!
Sarah, we did it.
I did not have that in the on the bottom of the page.
Oh, okay.
Now
I
it
haven't.
shows. Now it shows.
Now it shows. Well, normally everyone jumps on and does that, but I actually can go in and add you. So that's what I did.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Let me bring this up. It's like
Yeah, go ahead and bring that up. We're going to adjust so we fit in there. And we can also move you back a little bit. Yeah, perfect.
there.
That's perfect.
Can you guys hear me well? I put these on. I figured if I'm too far from the camera, you're not going to be able to hear me.
We totally can hear you. Yes.
Hi everyone. Thank you for
know.
joining us today, and thank you, Angela, for having me. Look at me. Look at me.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
what the heck? I've been doing this for so many years now.
So here's something to know. Like, I've been doing these lives every week I've probably done like 17 or 18 lives because I used to do 2 of them a week, and I still get nervous. I still get butterflies in my stomach like moments before. So it's just exciting. So I totally understand the shaky hands because I have like goosebumps right now because we are so excited to have you on and just be able to have you share what you share with us on a daily basis.
Angela, I think we're going to have a problem. In order for the people to see the doll, I have to bring it this high.
Okay.
But I can't work like this. This should be somewhere here.
Move her back a little bit?
Then they're not going to be able to see.
But we will be able,
You
Um,
know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go, although I'm wearing a jumper, I'm gonna go and put some high heels on
oh,
because
okay.
I'm only 5'2", okay? I'll be
Okay,
right
that's
back.
probably okay. Oh my gosh. She's so cute. I love her and I love that she's on here. I know she needs high heels because with the split screen, it gets a little challenging because you don't have the whole screen, but with the split screen, it makes it a little challenging to have the doll head in both screens. So we're going to have a high heeled Lala for us here. But what I know she needs to stand on an apple box. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay,
That'll work. That'll
so
work.
this is better.
That'll work.
Look at this. Let me see if I can bring my,
Oh my god. Well, that totally goes with the jump with your jean jumpsuit.
right?
I think it looks cute. I mean, to be honest, I'm sitting down and I am barefoot right now.
Well, that's how I was before I put these
I
on.
what I was saying before, people were asking about the mannequin, and right here I have my pivot point. But I just want to say that I just got in the mail like 30 minutes ago was the Mustafa
That's
mannequin.
beautiful. Look at those blue eyes.
I know. Look at how beautiful she is. So
This one, you said that's one is from Mustafa. Mine
this
is
is
from
Mustafa's.
Limache.
Oh,
Um,
beautiful.
and I think they are based in Germany. They sent
Yes,
this one to me for free, so I'm really grateful for it.
it's
But
so
it has
gorgeous.
really, really
Yeah,
long hair. And
they're they they're my other favorite. I absolutely love them.
very beautiful
Yeah, this one's really
face.
long too. But she's not prepped the way I wanted to prep for you. So I have this one, which is pivot point, and then I have her prepped.
It's
So
perfect.
yeah. But again, I just wanted to take a moment to just say how excited we are. You were absolutely like on my most favorite artist to have on our virtual one-on-ones during this time for
Thank
the
you, guys.
audience.
Okay, don't make me cry before I start.
I know, no, no.
Make me cry after.
Oh, I know. It's just been a joy. It's just been such a joy to watch you. Over the years, I've been on here pretty much the same time that you've been on here, and it's just been. I'm just so excited for all the things that you've done and everything that's ahead of you. So, again,
Thank you, Angela.
we
The
we
feeling
had
is mutual.
oh we had 3 looks because you everything that you produce is so amazing. We would love to learn them all, but we had 3 looks that we wanted to choose and have the audience vote. And of course, they voted the ones that you and I thought that would probably be there. But I think with the number 1 look that we're going to do is because they're so interested in how to produce those gorgeous ridges.
Okay, so first thing first, for that style that we chose, for those of you who are not familiar with what we are going over today, from those 3 looks that Angela posted on her page, you guys chose one that it's actually just 2 uh, fishtail braids that
Yes,
are pulled apart, and that creates the effect of ridges.
correct.
A lot of people try to do that. Those are very trendy now. They are coming from Europe. They are known as the Russian styles, and a lot of
Correct.
people have a very hard time to model and mold those freely if you use their technique on doing it. You need a
Okay.
lot of hair preparation, a lot of experience on how to mold the hair and all that. So when I create something, I always try to come up with techniques that will create very complicated looking styles, but I simplify everything, making it easier for people who are not doing bridal hair to be able to actually achieve any kind of style. And that was
Absolutely.
my pretty much, I would say, my secret of
Okay.
my my not my styles, but my page and my brand and my name that grew so fast in such a short period of time is the fact that I always simplified everything. And when people look at the final result, they're like, oh my gosh, this looks like they must have spent a lot of time on it.
Oh my
When
gosh.
actually most of my techniques are anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes.
So
So
this is a beautiful thing. And this is because whenever I try to do a little bit of research, and I really, really paid a lot of attention to a lot of your tutorials on your page. And when I would watch them, I was like, oh my gosh, do you go by Lala, right? Versus Laura?
yes. Hmm.
Lala. Okay. I was like, Lala's basically has broken this down, and it's actually very easy to replicate. And I kept on seeing that over and over again on the page. I'm like, this is all doable. This is so exciting because that is just a great way to simplify something that looks so complicated. Is the way that you've broken it down, and you use a lot of French fishtails. You use a lot of twist, and I was kind of really excited about that. Just as I dove into your page, that all these looks, I was like, oh my gosh, we can totally recreate this. Like, this is everything on your page is totally doable. So I love the way that you break it down, especially with the ridges into French fishtails, because
Thank you.
those are beautiful.
And thank you everyone for the love and for the
I
hearts and for
know.
tuning in. So first thing first, every time you see a style on my page, you probably notice that most of my styles are textured with a crimper, with a texture iron. A lot of you are asking me over and over on my page, what kind of crimper am I using? The ones that you're using, they're not giving you that fine texture that it's not visible on the scalp.
Okay.
Um, Unfortunately, it's something that you cannot find on the market
Okay.
because I came up with this preparation tool a while back and I was planning to launch it, but the pandemic happened. This is
Oh,
the tool that I'm using.
oh my
And
gosh.
as you see, it's very wide, which allows you to take chunks of hair, like a lot of hair. I mean, not thick hair. I meant to say you can cover
Wider section.
wider sections
Yeah.
without spending a lot of time on this. Usually a full head takes me anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, depending of the amount of hair. I created the ridges very small with this
Yes.
in mind as a preparation tool to make sure that the texture doesn't show in the hair. Why am
Yeah.
I using this on everything that you see on my page? Most of the times, a lot of people are asking me, you have models with the perfect hair.
Yeah.
Almost all the models that sat in my chair, they did not have the perfect hair.
Okay.
Almost all the models that sat in my chair, they had very fine texture with receding hairline area.
Over
So
here.
I always had to prep in order to be able to use their hair.
Okay.
But that's not the reason I do it. I realized that using this as a preparation tool allows me to use less product
Okay.
and it cuts my styling time in half. Plus,
Okay.
all of my clients that sat in my chair, they told me the style was there until the morning. What this does, the reason you see the crimper in all of my styling is
Yes.
because this kind of texture doesn't go away unless you wash the hair.
Totally.
The curling texture goes away once you hit the sun, you get the humidity, the sweat, and all this. This one is so strong that it doesn't go away, even if it's
Love
hot,
it.
even if it's humidity, even if it's wet, which is perfect in Florida. So this
Here
is
in
the
Florida.
reason.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
this is
Well,
the reason
I'm
I'm
looking,
using this.
I'm reading the comments, and you have quite a bit of them sold already. So maybe you should do a pre-sale.
Well, I have no idea when China is going to start working
Oh
again.
yeah.
The factory is there, so I don't want to
Yeah.
do that until I have something for sure.
Well, I'm
So
excited about the success of that because we love the color, and I love that it's wider because that's important to kind of get through those bridal heads and all the bridesmaids heads as quickly as possible. But I did. I have mine crimped, and the amount of volume that you have already for braiding is fantastic.
and I want to show you guys, the hair of this mannequin doll was prepped before, but if you look very close,
Yeah.
the crimper is barely visible. It's visible more underneath.
Okay.
Can you guys see?
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
But I have a different way of prepping the hair on the mohawk area that
Okay.
will allow you to crimp the hair without showing the crimper. So if you
Okay.
guys want to learn how I prep the hair with the crimper, you can go and subscribe to my online education. That video is for free. And
Perfect.
there you will see how I crimp the hair in order to not show that texture on the top.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm totally watching that video.
And I wanted to tell you guys that this doll doesn't have any product in the hair. So this is just what the crimper did. It got rid of the flyaways. The hair listens to me. It's all shiny and I have no product into it. And let me show you, if I touch it and I try to do something, the hair literally just stays up because of the texture
Yep.
with
Yep.
no product in it.
Yeah. I
So
love it.
that's about preparation. Okay, let's get to work.
I can say mine, if you look closely, you can see that it's lightly crimped, but again, there's no product. Actually, the product that's in here is the Rose Elixir.
Okay,
And
I've seen
then,
that in your stories.
and then see how I can get that ridge already.
Mm-hmm.
That's just from, because it's crimped. It's mini crimped. So yeah, I love it.
Okay, so again, that video on how I prep the hair with the crimper to not show that texture very heavy on the top layer, it's on my online education. The link is on my website, and that video for the preparation is for free if you guys want to learn how to do that.
And can they go to your Instagram page and is it like link in the bio?
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Okay.
So everyone,
So
that's what they get to do afterwards.
like I said, this one doesn't have any product into it. By the way, guys, I'm not gonna be able to answer your questions because I never wear glasses when you guys see me, but actually in reality I do. So I'm literally blind. I can't see anything
I'll
there.
read them for you. I'll read them for you. I also want to say hi to Devere. He's on here. He's an amazing artist as well that we follow. He popped on here earlier, so hello to him.
Hello, everyone. I
Yes.
think I am going to direct this
Yeah, I moved mine down a tiny bit too.
like that, so I can leave this doll a little bit lower.
Okay.
And not struggle with my hands. Okay. So next step, every time when I do braids, I have a preference for clean hair. Now, a lot of us, I did not take any bridal classes in my career, but most of the people coming to take my classes, they've been taught that what makes a braid big and fluffy, it's the product.
Okay.
I might not be popular for breaking that rule, but it's I hate to say it, but it's not the product making your braids bigger. It's
Okay.
the lack of product that makes your braids bigger, and I will
Okay.
explain. So anytime, most of the times we are teach to put texturizing hairspray, volumizing powder on our braids, and then start to pull to make them fluffier and bigger.
Absolutely.
I do that. I do use the product, but I use it after I already did the braid to set the braid in place.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Why am I not putting any product in the hair other than this oil?
Yep.
Because the oil is going to make it more flexible, so it will allow me to mold the hair and pull without having any resistance from the texture of the product. So
Okay.
that means it will allow me to pull as much as I want and not create any messiness while I do that.
Or frizz, or you know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Perfect.
So now we're going to put a little bit of oil all over.
Okay, so I love
Usually,
this oil, and you can actually spray it on your body, correct?
exactly. It's
Yeah,
good for
I
your
did.
body. My mom actually stole some bottles from my shelf, and she's taking them with her to Romania.
It
She's
smells
that in
amazing.
she's that in love with this product. And look, when you put this oil on, how everything is super shiny and clean.
Yep.
Okay?
Oh, I just dropped my cone.
Okay, now we have our middle section, right?
You have a center part, correct?
A center part,
Okay.
because we are going to braid two fishtail braids. Now,
Yes, I know. I love it.
every time I do braids, I never ever go with straight lines because those are not making anything blend. A straight line, it's a line of demarcation that breaks something, and my styles are not looking blended. So
Okay.
instead of going for this straight line, I'm going into a zigzag. Why is the
Okay.
zigzag your best friend all the time? Not only when you do braids. I'll give you an example. Anytime you have clients who have long hair like this around the face, and they say, I want some pieces of hair to frame my face. Most of the times we do this, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then it's very hard for this to blend in with the rest, especially if it's hanging around the face. If I'm going in a zigzag pattern,
yeah.
those sections are going to be so blended with the rest, they look
Oh my
like
God,
they're
I
coming
love
from
that.
behind. So
Okay,
now
so
I'm not going to have just two sections hanging in there. It's
I
actually
love
all
that.
blended with the rest.
That was an aha moment.
The same when we have a client that wants a braid incorporated into the updo, right? Most
Yes.
of the times we have a very hard time to break that line of demarcation that forms between the front section
Yep.
and whatever we're building on the top, right? Well, if I take a zigzag section, when I'm choosing my sections for the braid, I will show you what happens. Although we did not, can you take a look here?
Yes.
Although we don't have any teasing in here to lift this, to break that line, it's completely straight and we have no braid in it. Look, when you drop this, there is no line of demarcation.
I love that.
It just blends in with the rest.
That's so perfect. So everyone, zigzag lines from now on when you're partying.
So zigzag lines will help you to blend everything. Now, since we're trying to kind of fake the effect of ridges,
Correct.
I do not want a straight line in here because the zigzag will already choose the ridges for me.
Okay.
So I won't even have to figure out. And most of the times, because of our dominant hand, we
Yes.
have the tendency to go thicker on one side and thinner on the other side based on
Okay.
our dominant hand. So to make sure that I have almost the same amount of ridges on one side compared to the other one, doing the zigzag, it already chooses the ridges for me. They are intertwined, everything looks blended. They're already chosen for me, and I don't have to worry this side will look off and the other one will look perfect.
Perfect.
So I hope that explains why we're doing the zigzag.
I think everybody's like, okay, I'm in it this live for, let's see, 20 minutes, and I've already learned so much.
So we're gonna go with the zigzag. When you do the zigzag, have in mind how many ridges you want to see there.
Okay.
The deeper you go and the bigger, the less ridges you're gonna see. And the heavier they are going to be, so they are not going to stand up.
Okay.
The thinner you go, the more ridges you're gonna have, the more they're gonna stand up because it's not a lot of weight to keep them down. Okay, so let's get to zigzagging all the way down.
All the way down to the back of
all
the
the
neck.
way. If you have a hard time to keep a straight line when you're doing your zigzagging, make sure that you go with a straight line all the way. And that way it's going to be easier for you to follow that line and make sure you are centered.
Okay.
That's another tip on how to make sure you're centered. Because here it's easy, but once you get on the bottom, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the zigzag.
Okay, I got it.
I think I'm going to leave some hair around the face.
I love it. You know, everyone's zigzagging right now. Now, do you work with a lot of clip-in extensions?
Not really. I work mostly with halos.
Oh, halos.
Because they're really easy to put in and out, and they don't require too much work.
Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know.
Okay. We are going to pretend this client wants some hair around the face.
Yep.
And once I did that, I'm going to go into zigzagging. Are you guys bored? Did we talk too much?
Are you kidding me? No way.
I know I am a very detailed educator, and sometimes I keep talking, and I'm trying to give everything out, and then I don't realize I'm talking too much. So
we love what you're saying, so please keep talking.
But I always feel like each of these details is so important, and the final look has so much to do with these small details that I feel like I need to share all that.
but that's why we're on here. Like these little tips that you own and that you do every day literally can change somebody out there. Now they get it. The light bulb goes on. They have an aha moment, and now the anxiety of recreating a look is totally taken away. And that is the purpose of why we do what we do here.
Is are the people that tune in on these lives usually doing hair in the same time? Are they
Yes.
recreating with us? Yes.
Yes. So
Awesome.
absolutely the premise, and here's the fun part, is the premise was you come on and you're teaching me like you and I are having a one-on-one, like I have you on as one-on-one, but then we open it up to the audience and then they follow along on their mannequins. So you're literally teaching this look to people from all over the world. And they then
Amazing.
tag us in their looks, in their stories, and then I repost all of the tags of the looks. So it's really fun to see everyone's interpretation.
Now, once we did the separation all the way down,
Yes.
the way you can figure out if you have two equal sections is by holding the hair. Most of the
Okay.
times you're gonna feel. If this one feels heavier or thicker, you will know, okay, I'm not centered.
Okay.
Does
I
that
feel
help?
like I'm centered. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, good. Now, to not get into the habit of grabbing hair from where you're not supposed to, um, clip this away. And that
Yes.
way you know for sure you're just going to grab hair from whatever you section.
Got it. So that's clipped away. And now I'm going to work
Okay?
on the side.
And I am going to put one more layer of hairspray in here.
Now, there was a question on the Rose Elixir. It's called Rose Elixir from Sexy Hair.
Correct.
This is a must in your salon and in your house, like in your bathroom and in your salon at home. Because I use it on my mannequins and then I spray it like on me.
I agree with what Angela said. I'm using this a lot for any. If you look at my styles, you will always see the Rose Elixir
Yes.
in my caption. I
Absolutely.
use it when I prep the hair. I use it when I do elastics, when I do twists, when I do pulls. This is the secret of my clean up styling, up
Okay.
styles. I'm using this oil every step of the way. And because I'm using, most of my styles are elastics and twists and pull. And
Yes.
even when I'm doing a regular style, before putting bobby pins, I'm using actually an elastic to secure the section and then I pin it. Although I'm using this oil, I'm not afraid that my styles will come down because
Yep.
of the way I secure.
Yep. I agree. No, I totally agree.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we put the Rose Elixir. I'm gonna take a diagonal section.
Got it.
We don't want to go straight because we want to follow the shape of the head, right? And a
Yes.
straight section will give us bulk. Okay, so you see when I'm taking my first section, I'm making sure that I'm taking just the first section out of that zigzag.
Yes.
You see?
Okay.
Brush each section. If you want those ridges to be clean, you constantly have to brush your sections.
Okay.
And even put oil from time to time if you see frizz or anything. We're splitting those in two equal sections. And then
Yep.
I'm bringing half from the left to the right.
Over.
And half from the right to the left.
Over. Yes.
Yes. And now I'm adding from the scalp. But
Yes.
before I'm adding this section, I need to see the width of this one.
Okay.
Over here. I don't want to come with this much and then I have a chunk like this that I have to add on the other side. So pretty much what I have here is my guide to how much hair I have to bring from around the face.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. So we did that. I'm bringing hair from around the face and I make sure that the amount that I'm grabbing is equal with what I'm grabbing from the top.
Okay, from the
And
top
if
side,
you
yeah.
and if you notice, we are not adding anything from what we're holding. So
Now
usually
that
we do this and then
that
we
front
add.
section goes over, or it goes over to the other side, or it's
Yes,
added. It goes over to the other side.
yes.
Yeah.
So you're literally just bringing hair from the sides and you just, what I'm trying to say, it's a regular fishtail, not a French fishtail. So we're
Got it.
not adding anything from what we're holding, only from the sides.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Because when we're trying to pull those ridges, if there is something next to it, it will kind of like stand against it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And now I
So,
looked at you and I lost my
oh, no, 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 it's okay.
I lost my thing. I will do it really quick. You stay there, don't go back.
I got it.
So you
Where I'm gonna
start
actually sit and watch. Over to
half
the
of it.
side, half of it to the side.
Now I'm adding from here, but I pay attention to how much hair I have here to make sure I'm not
Keeping
adding
it
more.
equal. Yeah,
And you
and that
see, I'm
goes
just adding
over.
over. These nails are too long.
Over.
Over.
Okay.
Very important. Hold your hands close to the scalp, like rest
Yes.
your hands on the scalp.
Yes.
When you do this, when you
Yes.
drop it, this is what is going to happen.
Yes.
You're
Okay.
over directing, so you will have loose hair. And in order for those ridges to stay up, the hair needs to be tight to the scalp.
Got it.
And
So, yeah.
another tip, I'm going with the braid very close to the middle section. And the reason for that, if we're going more closer to the hairline, what will happen, since this is a flat surface, we're gonna have a even more flat surface if we're going so far, because all this, because of the flatness of the
Totally.
head, will
Okay.
not stay up.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and that it's not a problem if here it's hanging, because it
Yeah.
looks beautiful around the face, but it's
Beautiful.
not going to look pretty when it's just sitting flat in there.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
that's the reason I'm going closer to the middle section
To the middle.
with my
So
braid.
keep your braids closer to the middle versus closer to the ears. You need it closer to the middle.
Correct.
Okay. So I love the fact that you're grabbing the sections and just going to the other side. You're not splitting like a traditional um, fishtail. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
I stopped the AC in my studio because it's so loud.
And now
And
you're
now
sweating.
I'm like dying.
Oh no. Did you?
Whew.
I mean, we could probably still hear you if you want to turn it on.
I turned the vent off. So I will have to actually get a ladder and get up because I'm only 5'2", so I can't reach that.
Oh goodness.
So never mind.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm totally loving this technique because I can already tell how it's going to look when we pull out those ridges. How's everyone doing out there? Give me thumbs up or hearts. If you have any questions, I'm going to go through.
It's very important to be consistent when you're grabbing your section. So make sure one is not thinner or thicker than the other one.
Yeah. Everyone looks they're good. We've got lots of different countries on here, which is amazing. Yep. Ridges from zigzags. Genius. We got the product. It's the Rose Elixir. And what was the name of your mannequin again? Because you pronounce it correctly.
It's from Limage.
Limage from Germany.
And it's called Louisa.
Yes, Louisa's beautiful. In fact, I have one coming from Limage, but it takes a little while because it's coming from Germany.
And I don't know if you notice, but every time I bring a section over, I pretty much clean it with my hands over and over again.
Yes.
And I kind of like stretch it. And again, make sure you're not adding a middle section from the sections that you're holding. You're only adding from the sides.
Yes.
We're not doing a fishtail.
You're not doing the traditional fishtail. You're just adding from the side and it goes over. So you're holding it with your thumb here close to the head. Grab your section and then take it over to the other hand. So you're not splitting like you traditionally do in a fishtail.
Can you guys see what we did so
It's
far?
actually easier. It seems easier, Lala.
Yeah, because you don't get confused. A lot of people get confused. I'm adding this, and now what am I adding?
Yeah. But I like this technique. It seems to be easier. And I love that it's in a braid. And so if it's a special occasion or it's an updo or a wedding, this is going to last.
Do you guys know that out of all the braids, the fishtail technique is the one that would last the whole day compared to the French and the Dutch?
I believe it.
Do you guys
I
want me
believe
to
it.
go over that when I'm done and explain to you why?
When I am talking with a bride about choosing a braid to put in their updo, I always try to talk them into a fishtail like this because it creates such beautiful volume in the front versus like a Dutch.
And let me see, I should turn this around for you guys to see what I'm doing. Is this better?
Oh, that's perfect.
You have to send your kids to me to teach them
I will.
how to be quiet when you have a life.
Well,
In
I
my
haven't.
in
I
in
haven't.
my household, nobody moves when I have a life.
Well, so I have a door that separates me from the rest of the house. It's like a sliding door, but they sneak in because it's next to the kitchen, and they know how to stay quiet, but they're actually in the room right now.
I was actually kidding, Angela. I actually love the relaxed vibe of these lives, and you know, the fact that we don't have to be like 100% professional, like watch every word.
I know. They even asked, they're like, "Can we pop some popcorn?"
Tell them I said it's okay.
Hey, you guys, you can have popcorn. It's so funny. I know. I love it. I mean, I started doing this at the beginning of Shelter in Place, and the response was so great that I was like, I'm just going to do this every week because
So
it's so much
once,
fun.
sorry, I interrupted you. Once we get at this point, we
Yes.
still have two sections, right?
Yes.
But when we do these, the fishtail technique, what makes a fishtail braid a fishtail, it's the very thin sections that when you bring them over kind of look diagonal and it gives us that V shape, right?
Correct.
What I'm doing in order to be able to cover the bun later, because I'm going to use a donut and then I'm going to wrap the rest of the braids around that bun, I'm going to take my sections a little bit thicker. So when I pull, those turn around and they're going to look more like a French braid than a fishtail braid.
Okay. So
So
perfect.
I'm using the fishtail technique, but I'm going to make it look like a French by taking thicker sections.
Perfect. Okay. That totally made sense.
So instead of taking just like this much,
Yes.
like very thin, I'm
Yes.
going to take a little bit thicker.
Like, yeah.
So
I
when
got
you're
it.
pulling, because of the thickness, it's going to become round instead of diagonal.
Got it. It's a little bit opposite of what we normally are thinking that we need to do when it comes to a fishtail, but it's also faster. It's faster
There.
to do that.
And have in mind the direction that where you're trying to direct this, okay? So we have to think about these two sections are going to be overlapped,
Okay.
crisscrossed, and then secured with an elastic, and then I'm going to wrap them. So I do not want to stand in that side of this the mannequin when I'm doing. I want to be on the opposite side because the hair follows your body position.
Correct.
So I don't want to be in the position where I have a lot of bulk here because I directed the braid that way when I'm actually trying to direct it this way. So your body position is very important anytime you're building any kind of updo, even a simple
Absolutely.
braid.
Absolutely. Now, when you get to the bottom of this fishtail, are you leaving about 3 inches out to pull it out?
I'm sorry, what was that?
When you get to the bottom of the fishtail, do you leave about 3 inches out? 3 or 4
I'm
inches
doing
out?
about 2 or 3 rows of braid and then I stop. So I would
Oh,
say the nape of the head, I stop and I start pulling, because the further I go, the harder it will be for me to pull the top and keep it clean. So I
oh
want
my
to I want to
goodness.
do it while it's still open
Yes.
and it's still flexible for me to pull. And we always start from the bottom up, because in
Okay.
order to have anything to pull here on the top, we need to bring that extra hair.
Got it.
So never start on the top, from the
Okay.
bottom up.
Perfect.
Okay? And we're gonna start pulling like right there. I want to see that bridge. So you see where I'm pulling from? Like
Right?
from
It's
the,
from almost like the center.
we're gonna pull the rest of it later, but now I'm just trying to kind of like emphasize the ridges a little bit. So we're
Yep.
gonna pull these later, but now I'm here.
Got it. Okay. So you're pulling from the inside, closest to the center.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that why you have nails? Does that help you pinch and pull, or?
It helps me a lot. I will be honest with you. Last year in November, I had a class in Jacksonville and I decided to give my nails a break. And I always had nails. So I pretty much learned how to style hair with long nails. And
Okay.
I use them as tools, pretty much.
Yes.
I went to Jacksonville and made a fool of myself. My styles literally looked like a beginner just tried to do bridal hair. Probably the people in the class wondered if those styles on my page are actually mine or someone else is doing it for me and take credit for it. Can
I
you
find
guys
that
see?
really hard to believe. What, were their nails too long?
Now they are too long. Yes, usually they
Oh,
are not so long.
was
They're
it
like
too
four
long in
weeks.
Jacksonville?
No, I had them short, cut them short
Oh,
completely,
got
so
it.
I
Okay.
had no nails. So can you guys see what we did so far?
Yes.
Okay, let's continue with the braid. Now that we pulled a little,
Okay, perfect. So now once we get to the nape, that's when you stop to pull out first, and then you can go and continue the braid down the ponytail.
yes.
Okay. Yours is
And
looking a lot cleaner than mine, but that's okay.
that's because I practice this braid a lot, and it's my favorite one that I use all the time.
It
It's
is
just a
totally
matter
my
of
favorite.
practice.
I was silently hoping that they would pick number one.
Well, when we get to this, like every time I'm braiding, like I said, it's not the product that makes my braids big, it's the way I pull. So let me pull this
Yes.
higher and I will show you what I'm
Perfect.
talking about. So anytime I'm doing braids, and now I dropped it and I kind of lost it. Let me go back. I do not braid more than 4, 5 rows most. And I go and I pull. I'm not
Okay.
actually pulling. I'm mostly like fanning with my nails.
Okay.
And I always start from the bottom. And because the hair is free of product and it's not secured by the braiding technique itself, and then by the rubber band, allows me to pull the braid as much as I want without creating messiness or
Yep.
having any resistance.
I love the tip about going 3 or 4 times and then stopping and pulling out. I think that's pulling the braid out. I think that's also a great reminder when you're creating this braid. So that was another like aha moment for me. Like, oh, okay, perfect. Now I understand why you do that. So instead of braiding all the way down and then going back and pulling out the
Yeah,
braid.
because if you're going all the way down, you constantly have to do the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because
Yeah,
the hair is
yeah,
secured by the braiding technique itself and
yeah,
then by the elastic.
yep,
So you do not have the flexibility to pull.
yep. And you crimped the roots to ends. So someone asked, do you crimp the whole hair? Um, you have a video on what she does on her website. So the link in the bio, it's a free video. So once you're done here, if you want to watch how she actually preps this, I would go to the link in her bio, go to her online education, and view the free video on what she
You will
crimps and
have to
what she doesn't crimp.
subscribe, which means to give your email address.
Yeah,
And once
that's
you subscribe, you have
yeah.
access to it. And that video, the preparation video, it's for free.
Totally. And then you can have my email, Lala. It's totally fine.
That's how the website is set up. There is no
Of
way you can
course.
have access
No,
to
it's
that.
great. And
And
the
we are,
crimper that she uses is her own crimper that she designed, and we're waiting for her to launch it because it's going to sell out.
amen to that.
Amen.
Okay, can you guys see?
Yes.
I usually have the tendency to
Okay, I love that.
finish like that because it's easier to hide instead of having a huge hair, a piece of hair at the end.
Yep, I love that. And so what
I
you did
am,
was just double, you looped it and then did it.
yes, I am not pulling anything right here yet. And the reason for that, we still have to crisscross these two and then wrap them around a bun, right? So I
Yes.
do not want to do anything with this hair until the hair is actually in a bun, and then I will work on framing the face.
Yep.
Because right now I have no idea how the hair is going to sit. So I do
Okay.
not want to pull anything and then end up having to do the whole style again.
Okay, we got it. We got the little loop at the bottom.
Okay. The
We're
other
good.
side now.
We have Latish just joined. I will be sharing this video as an IGTV when we're done, so you can absolutely watch it from the beginning as many times as you want, because there's so much information in the beginning that Lala shared with us. So I highly recommend popping on and watching the beginning. Just
Yeah, guys, I talked a lot in the beginning, so
oh no,
don't
we love
skip
it.
that part because it was really filled with a
No,
lot of good information.
you know that everything that you say we value in this community, my dear. So just so you know.
I just want to make sure they don't think it's just like talking, waiting for people to tune in, you know, and miss that piece of valuable information
No,
in
no,
the
no. It's
beginning.
really good information. I mean, everything that you said. I missed the first part. Not a problem. I'm going to share this as an IGTV and continue to watch, and then watch the beginning. Lala shared a lot of really important tips on sectioning and prepping and everything. So it's a good
Are
one.
we good to go with the second part?
We're good to go.
Okay, so we're taking a diagonal section again, and I only take the first section. I don't want to take the second one from the zigzag.
Yep.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Since this is a European mannequin, it doesn't fit on my stand very well, so I have to put a piece of
Okay.
paper to make it more stable because it keeps spinning around.
And so for anyone that wants to collapse their comments, if you press in the center top left, your comments will collapse so you can see the doll head a little bit better, which is always nice. So that's kind of a little trick.
Oh, by
So,
the way, if you guys like this doll, like I said, it's from Limage. And when they send this my way, they gave me a code for my followers. I'm not making any money out of it, but my followers are getting 15% off.
perfect.
So if you want to use that, use it. It's Lala 15.
Lala 15 for Limage, which is
I
a
lost
beautiful,
my
beautiful
comb.
mannequin.
It doesn't matter if it's on the floor, right? It's a mannequin doll.
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm not doing this with clients, I promise. Okay.
Oh, you might hear my children. See, you spoke too soon. You jinxed me. Now my kids are screaming in the background.
Tell them no more ice cream for the rest of their lives.
I know. No more ice cream. Okay, I'm going to turn this way here. Oh, I hope you didn't hear that.
We did.
Yep.
And now we know why we only have one. By the way, I have a very European humor, and a lot of people usually take it like it's offensive. So please don't get offended. I have only good intentions.
No, 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 no. I have my daughter who's 13. She's how I started braiding, because I started braiding her hair when she was 7.
Okay,
And,
so let's talk
we
about
can hear him screaming.
Start again. So we're taking the first section out of that zigzag.
Yes.
We're splitting that into 2 equal sections. We're bringing half from the left to the right, and
Yes.
half from the right to the left. And now, before you're adding this section, look at the amount of the section that you have on top to make sure you're
Yes.
bringing the same amount of hair from around the face.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I'm not here. I'm on the other side.
Stop. No. Enough. Okay. Okay. Now we're back in the groove here.
You know who I didn't train to be quiet when I have lives? My dogs.
Oh, yes.
So again, guys, we are not adding anything. Usually we have the tendency to add one from the one we're holding and then add from the scalp. So in this case, we're only adding from the sides, nothing from what we're holding in the hand. It's not a French fishtail, it's a regular fishtail.
Correct. Which again I actually love that technique. I mean, it's super easy.
And again, your ridges are already chosen by the zigzag sectioning. So you don't even have to stress about what am I taking next? Am I balanced with the other side? Am I centered? Am I taking enough hair?
Yep.
The sections are already chosen for you by the zigzag
Yep.
sectioning.
Oh, there was a question about what brand halo do you use?
I use the Halo Couture.
Couture. Okay. Thank you.
They are my favorite. They
I
have
just
really
saw
good
you.
quality.
I think you just created a look that you posted that you had the halo that I saw.
Yeah, I use them from time to time. Like I said,
Yeah.
my models here are not, it's not perfect how people think. I just prep it to make it look perfect.
Yep.
And sometimes I have to use extensions because the texture is so fine that I need some extra hair in order to create those boho fluffy styles.
But also the halo is a little bit easier to work around because it's just that thin wire.
Exactly. And it's very easy for the clients to take them off later when they get to the ceremony, if they get too hot or whatever.
Because I have some clip-ins in here and they start to become a little problematic when you're grabbing the hair.
You mean when you put it in an
I
updo
have
or?
clip-ins in right here. And so when I'm grabbing it to braid it, that's where it becomes a little problematic because it has to be flipped backwards.
So based on the style that you are doing, Angela, that's how you put the extension. So if you know that you're putting the hair up, you're gonna put it the opposite way. You're gonna come this way and you're gonna clip them like this.
Yeah.
So when you flip them,
you're right.
And if you're doing anything that requires to take hair around the hairline, I always put them a little bit more inside and not so much to the hairline.
I did. I made a mistake of they were already in here, and so I used it, but not knowing that they should be placed differently because based on the style that we're doing. See?
Now, I know I told you guys in the beginning that my styles are usually anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes techniques.
Yes.
We're probably not going to be done with this in 15 minutes because I stopped and talked and explained a lot. But I promise you, if you're trying this at home, 2 fishtail braids should not take you more than 10 minutes, and maybe another 10 to pull and clean and set. And you should be done with the style in probably 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I would always invite, like what I usually do is because I'm talking and reading comments, is I'll go back in and I'll recreate the look. I'll take it down and recreate it and then shoot it for Instagram.
Is this better? Can you guys see?
You're good. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love your background too with your little lights.
I just ordered those from Amazon, and I put them behind the wall. I just wanted to take pictures. I got it today. I'm so curious to see how the pictures are gonna look with those lights in the background.
Yeah, we'll look for it. Yeah.
And in portrait mode. It was like $16, but
that's
it changed that wall completely.
Yeah.
So very important, guys, please keep your hands close to the scalp. They are resting on the scalp, not in the air. If you're braiding in the air, you're going to over direct the hair. When you drop it, you're going to end up with very loose hair. And in order for this ridges, fake ridges to stay up, you need the hair to be tight.
Yep.
If it's loose, they're not going to stay up. They're not going to look like ridges.
Yep. Yeah, that looks really great. That looks really clean. Mine, I need to practice on mine becoming a little bit tighter. But
it's the nails, Angela.
I used to have nails. I used to teach classes and braid with the nails, but when I got into doing 5-strand braids, the length of the nails would get caught on the other strands.
Oh, I cannot even tell you how many times I finished an updo on my models and I was ready to do the final spin and I'm like, oh, I've seen something through the camera, let me fix it. And I go and my nails get stuck in the hair and I ruin everything.
Yep.
And I have to start all over again.
It's hard though. Like if you got long nails and you're like passing hair back and forth between 5 fingers, the way that I was doing it, those nails would totally get in the way.
So once I got to the nape of the head again, I'm gonna stop.
Yep.
Whew.
Are you hot?
Yeah, I think I just got hot flashes too. You know,
oh,
it's
you
the pre-menopause.
You're too young, my dear, for hot flashes.
So I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna start pulling from the bottom up.
Yes.
And right there from the middle. We're gonna pull the sides as well, but later. I explained earlier why I'm not pulling the sides yet.
Yes.
Do you guys remember why?
Because you don't need to?
No, because I don't know how the hair is going to sit once I crisscross these 2 sections. So I do not want to pull anything around the face until I see the final look and kind of like go with the flow.
Yep. And that, I think that area always is just like the final details, you know, of how it drapes, everything's in place. There maybe you want a little bit more softness or undone. So I feel like that's always like the final details.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm doing your hot tip of braiding 3 to 4 times, stopping and then pulling out. Like pancaking that braid.
Now, can you guys see right here in the middle how these fake ridges are intertwining and kind of like supporting each other?
Yep. That looks great.
And of course, when we're going to put product, these are going to be even more defined.
Yeah.
And clean and kind of like separated.
It's so fun. Like it's just fun. Like what we do is so fun.
We are blessed to do what we love the most and call it work, right?
I know. I love it. Okay. I like this though. I think Mondays are my favorite because I get to hang out with like an artist that I've admired for years, and then they like teach me their ways.
Thank you, Angela. We always have something to learn from others.
I know.
We learn until we die. The moment we think we know it all is the moment we stop growing.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing hair for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And
I only done it for 15. So 20 years is a lot.
And I feel like I have so much more to learn, of course. There's so much.
Remember, guys, I told you that I always pull my braids as I go. And probably you've noticed that I am switching in between my hands. And the reason for that, when you're trying to have a flat braid, if you're pulling the braid with the same hand, you're going to have difference in your braid. Because when I'm pulling with this one, I'm pulling flat because I'm on the side of this braid. But if I'm trying to do this, when I'm pulling more up. So I'm going to have one flat section and this is going to be more fluffy because I pulled up, not flat. So that's why I keep changing my hands in between to make sure that I am pulling flat.
Yeah. It looks great. Someone's like, oh, I am just starting. Oh no. And have an amazing career too. It's like you can do anything that you want in this industry. All you have to do is believe that you can do it and then work hard and be consistent and stay focused, and your whole career you can do whatever you want to do. It's
Above everything else, work hard,
just
because
work hard.
hard
Yeah.
work would always beat talent. If you're sitting on your butt thinking you're the shit, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, there are millions like you out there who are waiting for an opportunity, who are even better than you.
Yeah.
But because you're working hard and you're consistent and you're, going for it, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
For those of you who know my history and my life journey since I made it into the States, I am the living proof that you can make your dreams come true with no money, no support,
Yeah. No,
no
it's
nothing.
true. If you
Even
have
if
a
you had a
vision,
small kid, what was that?
I said, if you have a vision and you believe in that
Exactly.
vision, you believe in yourself that you can do it, then you don't know how you're going to get there. You just know you're going to get there.
So we secured this one as well.
Beautiful.
And now we are going to
Preach,
crisscross the,
Lala. I love it. Okay, so we're crisscrossing the braids.
yes, and we are going to secure them.
Okay.
So when you do that, look which side looks the best on top of the other one.
Okay.
Like you see when I'm putting this one, I feel like I have a little bit of bulk in here,
Okay.
which probably it's because I pull too much.
Got it.
When I tried to show you guys how these are kind of like on top of each other, I went and I pulled a little bit more here, and look what
Okay.
happened.
Yeah.
So I feel like this way it's gonna look better.
It's going to look better.
Okay.
Yep, I agree. I like that way too. I
Now,
like the left over the right. Okay.
by looking at the length of these braids that I have here, I already know that putting securing these two together, like literally I have only one palm of braids. I'm talking about length.
Yes.
When if you look at this tutorial on my page, the hair of my model is all the way to her butt. So I
Okay.
literally had a lot of braid section to cover that donut. If I'm securing this right now, I'm already taking length by crisscross them. And then I'm going to have this much over it, which is going to be the donut. So I'm going to have only this much left to cover the donut, which is not going to be enough. So in this case, we're going to have to do that bun a little bit differently because we do not have enough length.
To cover the donut that you normally use.
Yes.
Yes.
So I will probably go with something like this.
Okay, I like that. So instead of putting it together and putting a donut, you're just going to improvise and make your own type of bun up to on the bottom. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So the longer the hair that you have in the braid to work with, that will cover a donut. If for some reason you put the donut on and that braid just disappears because it's not long enough, then we're going to do it. You can pin it on the bottom without a donut.
Now, a lot of times when I'm teaching, I talk about mistakes and why you should go that way.
Totally.
But in the same time, I do the mistake for you to see what I was talking about, since I'm such a detailed educator and I literally spill information nonstop. I can't stop talking about that. It's a lot to take in, so the brain cannot remember all that. But if you see the mistake, next time you get into it, you will know what to do.
Totally.
So in this case, remember guys, what I told you, that when you braid, you should be on the other side.
Yes.
Like, look what happened because I was not. See all this over here? So if I would have been here when I created all this.
Yeah, it would have been tighter.
I wouldn't have to deal with this because the hair would have been directed this way when I braided. So I wouldn't have to deal with this bulk right here.
We like the bulk. The bulk doesn't look bad.
But now it makes sense what I just said earlier. And you
Lala,
can actually see it.
Your bulk is beautiful.
So I'm looking on how I could probably make this work without a donut right now.
I just say, yeah, crisscross it. And then yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many different ways to put up the bottom.
Yep.
That it's just a matter of
creativity and whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna try to put that bun.
Uh-oh. I
I'm
have a
not
little one too.
I'm not giving up.
I
But
have this. I have a really small one. Look at this.
so I cut a little bit out of one, and I'm gonna get a very small one to make
Oh,
sure
got
that
it.
I'm not getting a lot of space on my
Oh,
ponytails.
okay. You know, I don't normally work with buns,
You
but
don't?
no, but I think I should.
When you say you don't normally work with buns, what do you mean by that?
I normally, when I'm doing an up style or anything like that, I don't typically use a bun. I mean, a donut hole, I should say, a donut.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Sorry. With this, I typically don't use these, but I know that you use them often.
Okay, you probably guys, the people that are familiar with my work, you probably I forgot what I was trying to say. Okay, so on top
About the
of
donut.
having the hot flashes, I'm getting the Alzheimer too. Normally, I just realized I have so many tutorials, guys, and so many techniques that I came up with that even I have to think twice sometimes to figure out how I did it.
Yeah.
To my mistake, I did not go over this tutorial to see how I did it. And now when I'm trying to put this over it, I realized that I should have stopped there, secure these two, because that's how I did it in the tutorial. Put
Okay.
this over and then do these two. Because
Okay.
look what happened when I tried to do that. Not only did I mess with the braids, but I create a lot of messiness.
Okay.
So we should have stopped over there, secure, put the donut over, and then do the
And then
braids.
braid. Okay,
So
that's
we
good.
don't mess with this.
So I would say after this, to see the other version, just go to your page and look for this look, which is down a little bit with when you start to get into the pink outfits, and watch that video so you see both versions.
So we would normally secure this with bobby pins, right?
Correct.
And then we would build on top of it. For time purposes, I'm not going to put any bobby pins in there because I want to be able for us to take some questions if they have any or
Yeah.
respond some. And I'm just going to pin
That looks
this
great though,
over.
Lala. It looks
Okay.
great.
So please do not leave that there without bobby pins.
It's okay. I love, but I love the fact that we're like saying, hey, if you do this, this is exactly like what will happen. So it's almost like going over what could go wrong. And that's where you learn the most is from doing it and then seeing where it didn't quite go the way that you wanted to. So it's just as valuable, like literally just as valuable information.
And literally, I had no idea that this doll doesn't have. I should have probably practiced this style today and figure out if this is going to work on a mannequin doll because most of the times what you do on a real person is not working on a mannequin doll
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the hair texture or the shape of the head, which is not so wide as a regular head or it's not that round. So most of the times you cannot achieve the same style or it's not going to look exactly the same on a mannequin doll as it would look on a real person.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that it's easier to create on a mannequin than a real person. For me, it's always the opposite.
Okay. I
I
think it
feel,
looks great, Lala. Messy Undone too gets a lot of attention on my page.
well, the one on my page, it's actually super messy and textured.
It looks gorgeous. I'm so excited for your crimper because everyone's asking about what you use to crimp the hair.
I was excited too when I put the order, and not so excited when I found out that they have no idea when they're gonna start working on it.
I know. Well, it's something very exciting to look forward to.
And
Very exciting.
as you guys probably noticed, I am not opening the bobby pins when I secure this because they hide better.
Yes.
So whenever I'm trying to hide the bobby pins, I'm putting more and I do not open them.
So I'm really liking the use of the donut. Like I said, I normally don't, but I am right now, and I it's kind of fun.
I still love it. And yes, I thought you were, look, I'm seeing without glasses, going to secure it before continuing. Yes, I did a mistake there. I should have. Okay. So I did the bun.
Yes,
Okay. It's
which
super
is
textured.
beautiful.
And now we're gonna go back to define these ridges. Now,
Yes.
since the hair it's secured by the braids itself, I am not afraid that, and then it's secured in a bun, right?
Yes.
When I'm pulling these braids, I'm gonna use oil. Now,
Oh, okay.
I am not afraid that this will go loose because of the braid itself, the way it's styled.
Yes.
Why am I using the braids? A little bit of oil. I am using the hairspray after, but
Yes.
I'm using the oil to kind of clean and define because anytime you put shine on the hair, it just adds definition to it.
Okay.
Okay, especially on brunettes, but on blondes as well. And it gives me a very flexible set. So these are not gonna look stiff or fake
Yeah.
because the oil is going to mix with the hairspray. And you know how
Yes.
usually hairspray, the more you put, the more it deposits and kind of looks messy and
Yes.
frizzy. So this is what is this going to do. It will prevent for the hair to look stiff and like a lot of product deposited on the hair. So we're gonna do this first, and
Yes.
then the hairspray. And this is the time when I pull more from the sides. I'm gonna
So
turn
you
her around
sprayed her on. Ooh, I love that.
so I can see what I do.
So is this like the funnest part for you when you're creating?
Meaning,
Meaning like pulling out these ridges and doing all the detail work once you have your style in there?
the fun part for me is actually not having anything in mind when I start, and then when I'm done
Okay.
looking at the end result and be like, wow, I
Oh
had
my
no
gosh, that's
idea this
amazing.
is what is going to come out. I never ever, when I do my models, when I create content, uh, probably any of my models can witness that. I do not have anything in mind. I literally
Wow.
play with hair and whatever comes out of it. If I
Wow.
get any ideas the night before, I'm gonna write them down. But
Yes.
I never try to recreate that style on a mannequin doll. What I'm doing, it's usually playing with the mannequin doll, discovering ideas, and then try to redo those on my models. Or simply just play with hair. And that is the reason you do not see a lot of braids on my page. When I started to do hair, all you can see on my page is braids.
Yes.
Because 6 years ago, there were no tutorials on updos on YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
All you can find were braids tutorials, right?
Yes.
So all I learned in the beginning, because 6 years ago I didn't even know how to do a French braid. I knew
I
nothing about upstyling. I was a cut and color specialist,
Yep.
and I started with braids because that's what I could find for free. And then I
Yes.
started to play with my mannequin dolls, and all kind of styles were coming out of my hands. And that's when I stopped doing braiding. And the reason for that, it's because I never felt creative with the braids. Because
Okay.
with the braids, I had to follow someone else's steps.
Okay.
It's like no thinking out of the box. I mean, you can mix them and match them and put them into an updo, but it was not something of my own, if that makes sense.
You didn't
So
actually create it.
so I never felt creative with braids. I love them, but I decided to incorporate them into my own styles. And that's why my page is mainly updos, because that's when I actually feel creative. I'm creating something of my own without following certain steps, you know, And that allows me to feel creative when I do not follow any steps. Can you guys
Which
see
is
how I
so
define these?
amazing. Oh, that's beautiful.
Can you see what the oil is doing? How defined
Yes.
they look now? Oops,
It
that
looks
was my
great.
crimper.
So here's mistake. I'm going to show you. Okay, so the bottom half of the page, Lala's look is what it should look like. Mine is when you don't hold the hair close enough to the head while you're braiding. And so you're going to get it being a little bit more flat and not as tight right here. So it's going to look more like this, because the tighter it is at the scalp when you pull it out, the more volume you're going to get down the center versus it laying flat.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that correct?
Yes. And
So,
you have to go, you see how your side is a little bit more closer to here.
yeah.
Look how much I have right here. Remember what I said, go with the braid really close to this, because otherwise you're going to create a flat surface in the middle.
Interesting. So it's actually good to do side by side looks with me, because yours is what it should look like, and then mine is what.
Well, I will be honest with you. If I would have had to recreate your style, it would not work for me, because I cannot follow someone else's steps. So probably mine would have not looked even half good as yours does right now.
And once
I put the go ahead.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say we make a great team.
We do, for sure. And look what happens when I put the hairspray. They become even more defined. But because I clean with the oil first and I emphasize them and define them, now even though I put the hairspray, it doesn't look like deposit of product in the hair. It doesn't look messy.
I love that. I love how the hairspray really defines it and really takes the character of the ridges.
Can you guys see?
Yeah, we're using So Touchable by Sexy.
Because it's a more flexible. Usually this is my to-go spray. It's the Get Layered.
Yes.
But in this case, I'm using this because it's a little bit more flexible. It's not so strong.
Okay, perfect. So this is what you normally use.
Yes.
But this is what we're using now because it's actually more flexible.
Exactly.
Cool. Sexy hair.
Sexy hair. All the products that I use today are sexy hair.
How long have you been working with them?
For the past 4 years, I was a brand ambassador for them. Yes. I must be doing a good job if they still love me.
They love you. They love you. You represent them very well. But it's really interesting because I love that you're the one that is creating these looks, and then we share with the community, and so people are recreating your looks. So you're actually inventing these looks that we're learning and recreating. So that's how important you are to our community, Lala.
Wow. Okay, I can cry now.
I know.
Because we're done. And we are going to repeat the same. Can you guys?
Once we get past the pandemic, we can just do this in person.
Yeah, gosh, I can't wait. The in-person classes. I really miss hugging people and talking to them and hearing their stories. And
yeah.
Now, can you guys see the difference between this side where we use the oil and the product? Oops.
Yes.
Versus this one. This is more blended. It's not defined yet.
Yeah. So that needs the hairspray shot.
And the oil first.
And the oil.
So
well, I have to say, these ridges to work with it's so fun. This is like my favorite part is like deconstructing what I've put in. I love it.
It's fun to see two simple braids turning into something completely different.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
Okay, we're starting to lose people because this is just a repetitive step and we're not doing anything. So once I'm done with this, I am going to use this hairspray as a final set because it's stronger.
Perfect.
So when I'm done, I'm just going and putting like a layer of hairspray. I am not done with this side. I want to take pictures and send them your way so you can post and for people to see the final look. And usually I'm going and I'm like kind of curling these and, you know, make them blend in with the rest. So this was guys.
Love it.
I'm not gonna keep you here while I'm just cleaning and
Okay.
emphasizing these. You already saw how I did this
Yeah.
one, how we made those ridges more defined.
Yes.
There you go, guys. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna take pictures of the final look and send them to Angela for her to post. And
So we're just going to answer the questions. The front hair, she's going to go in and curl. So we're going to be posting her finished look. And also, anybody, please, when you finish your look, tag Lala's Updos and Beyond the Ponytail in your Instagram stories, and I'll be sharing them
please
on
do. I
my
would love
stories.
to
Yes.
see your take in it.
This is a fun one to play with. So please finish your looks and then tag us in your stories. Normally this look would probably take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. But Lala's been so kind to share everything, and which are so many aha moments. So if you have not seen the whole thing, go back and watch the beginning, because there's a lot of information that will really kind of give you an insight of how these looks look so beautiful, because it's important. That's gorgeous. I'm going to curl my front pieces, but this is, I like that.
I love that. It's
Yeah, I'm going
actually
to
more
redo it. Look
deconstructed.
at
I
my little
love it.
donut showing.
Probably mine is, no, it's not
No,
showing. I did
no,
good.
it's not. Well,
Angela, thank you
I'm
so
gonna
much for
recreate this.
having me.
Yes.
Should we answer any questions?
Yes. If you have any questions, Lala's going to jump off in just a minute. So ask them now. More videos with Lala, please. Okay. We're just going to have you back on.
Okay, I will for sure be back if you guys want me. I
Oh,
just want to tap my.
just the little powder. I know these lights get hot too. The beginning I'm going to share as an IGTV. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Lala's online education. Just type in your email and then you can get a free video on her online education that will explain how she preps for this look, because there's a little twist to it. The whole thing's not completely crimped. So go ahead and watch that. The name of her mannequin is La Mirage.
It's Limage.
Limage. Limage. They are
Limage.
from Germany. I have a pivot point here, and I just got graced with Mustafa's mannequin, which is also beautiful as well. That code for this one is BTP20. So he's got a little bit of dolls ready to go and send out, as well as Limage, pivot point. There's quite a few that you can choose from. We use Sexy Hair products. I invite you to get the Rose Elixir in your home, because it's amazing. The crimper
this is what we use, guys.
Lala's doing, yes, those two are fantastic. The rose one is what she prepped for the shine. If you watch her, you can see she uses that a lot for shine. And then the one on your right is a touchable hold, which works really well.
I want to mention, for those who didn't watch this from the beginning, all the products that I'm usually using when I'm styling, they're on my highlights under tools and products.
Perfect.
They're listed there. You even have links to where to order them. I made it that simple for everyone.
Perfect. I know most of you have all been to Lala's Updo's Instagram page. It is packed full of valuable information. So I highly recommend to actually go and spend some time and cruise down that feed and watch the videos. She's been so kind to share so much information with us on those videos on her feed. Jump onto her online education. Lala, you're talented, and thank
you, Angela. I feel the same about you.
Us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. When Angela is going to post that on her page, I will take the time to go. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to go there and answer. But hopefully you got all your answers after watching this. So yes, thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you, Angela, for having me.
I love you, and I will talk to you soon.
I love you too.
Okay.
I don't know how to stop this. You do it.
So, I'm going to go ahead and kick you off here.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, love.
Bye.
Okay, that was jam-packed full of information. If you were just jumping on and you missed it, I will be sharing it as an IGTV in the next 15 minutes. It takes a little while to load, but it is so great. If you are wondering how to recreate the Russian ridges that you see that are so fantastic, this is a great technique to watch to get that skill level up and practice. That was fun, and I just adore her, and I'm just excited for what she has in her future once we kind of all get back to normal. But please remember that when you're done with your looks, to tag Lala's updos and Beyond the Ponytail in your finished looks in your IG stories, and I will be posting anybody and everybody that sends that to me so we can see everything that you've done and all your beautiful ridges. We will be back again next Monday with another artist that is super awesome. And you know I like to tease you, and I'm not going to let you know who it is until later this week. So stay tuned. And we will definitely have Lala on again because she has so much information and so much knowledge to share with us, and we just adore her. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you got so much out of this like I did. And if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And until then, have a beautiful week. I just adore all of you. You guys give me goosebumps and just make me so happy. So I'm so happy that you were able to join me today with our dear friend Lala. And I'll see you guys soon. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.